One thing that we wanted to do with LabKey is make it easier to do basic analytics and see visualizations for your data easily from the LabKey data grid. As a first step in that direction, we added a few new items to the LabKey data grid column header menus to make it quick and easy to display both column aggregates and visualizations. So here on my local server, I have the LabKey demo study loaded, showing the physical exam data set. If I click on one of the column headers, you'll see we've expanded the list of menu options to include a few new items that were previously buried within the customized grid panel UI. In addition to, so the sorting and filtering options are still there as they always were, but in addition we now have the remove column menu item, aggregates, and some column visualization options. So I'll start with explaining the remove column menu option, and as you would expect, when I click on remove column, it updates the current view that I'm looking at for this data region and removes that column. So this is behavior that was always possible within LabKey. If I go to grid views, customize grid, I can remove columns from the current view using the selected fields hover display here on the right, but this remove column header menu now makes it a little quicker to remove those items. As you can do with the customized grid, I can then save that set of columns as my new default view or a named view, or I can revert those to go back to the view I was previously looking at. The second menu item that we added from the column dropdown is the aggregates. So again, this was also a feature that available from the custom grid panel, but kind of buried within several clicks. But we expose this now from the menu item here, and as you'll see, when you click on a column that is a numeric type, you get 5 options for aggregates that you can show in this data region. So count, sum, average, min, and max will be options for numeric columns. And when I click on one of those, you'll see my data region refreshes, and if I scroll all the way to the bottom, I now have the average value for all of the rows in the data region, not just the, in this case, 100 that are showing on this page, but this is the average value for the full set of rows in my grid. For Boolean or string columns, that aggregate list is going to only contain a single option, the count aggregate. This is just going to show me a display of the total number of rows from that column. And for date columns, we get 3 options, count, min, and max. And again, clicking on one of those displays it at the bottom of the data region. You can add multiple aggregates for a single column. I can do that here for the date column. I can add both minimum and maximum, and you can remove a single aggregate by checking it again from that menu drop-down. Just like the remove column menu item, these changes to my data region can now be saved with the default view or a named custom view, and they can likewise be reverted. The third new option that I mentioned for the column header drop-down menus is column visualizations. So this is a brand new feature to the 16.2 release. It builds on some of the visualization APIs that we expose in other parts of the product, but makes it possible to quickly show a visualization within this data region for the data in a single column. So in this particular case, for a numeric column, I can pick the box and whisker menu item, and when I do so, we'll see a small visualization that appears at the top here in the data region message area for the box plot for case diastolic blood pressure. I can choose a dimension column, in this case a Boolean column, to show either a bar chart or a pie chart. So I'm going to go ahead and add bar chart here for my pregnancy column. And finally, the pie chart option, also available for dimension columns, can be added in this case to a lookup column or a string column. So if I add that pie chart, we'll see the visualization again up here in the top section of my data region. These visualizations can be removed by hovering over the visualization and clicking on the X in the upper right-hand corner. They also will reflect filters that are applied to this data region. So for example, if I wanted to remove the null or blank values from my visualization or my data grid, I can do that with the filter option. I'm going to uncheck blank here, and when I hit OK, the data region again refreshes to apply that filter, as you'll see here at the top, and now my visualizations are updated, in fact, to reflect that. So you can see now my ARV regimen type pie chart no longer has a pie wedge for that blank category. With the other, just like the other two items I mentioned, these visualizations can be saved with a data region with a view so that a shared view can be seen by other users in the system. To demonstrate that, I've created a second or additional custom view here for the physical exam data set that when I click on it, you'll see it renders with a handful of visualizations that I added to this custom data region. So that covers the new features that have been added to the column header drop-down menu for the 16.2 release.